Hello, everybody, and welcome back to some collegiate Overwatch. I'm Newbeat. That's Knuckles. We're getting ready for some ECAC Week 3 action between the Edgewood College Eagles versus Shawnee State. And Knuckles, Week 2 looked a lot better for the Eagles. They started playing some new heroes, some new comps. I'm glad to have you back. And I want to just quickly ask you, like, after you were here for Week 1, what are you kind of looking forward to as we get ready for this next match?
I mean, honestly, it looks like the meta's really open right now. I think after the last patch notes, I think Ram is no longer as solid as he was. So I think that there's going to be a lot more flexibility to experiment, and I think that's really going to work in the Eagles' favor. Just because, I mean, I was actually just catching up on a few of like the NA games, and really teams are all over the place, sort of experimenting with different comps. The only consistency is actually Juno, and I didn't see the Eagles play Juno first week. So curious to see if that's a hero that they picked up.
Yeah, they did play a bit of Juno last week, specifically on Control. Celestia Maddie played Juno on Lijiang Tower last week, so we'll see if that's more of just a control pick or if it's something that they want to pick up more as we get ready to go into this first map here pretty quick.
Oh, it's good to hear. It's exciting, and we really did see in like kind of a settled meta. We did see a lot of different looks coming out from them, which at the very least shows that they're brave enough. They're going to show different looks. So for this week, I mean, I guess we'll see. What I'm actually curious about is whether or not we're going to be seeing as much Ryan as we saw last week. I mean, I know LH Cloudy was playing Ryan, in the OWCS. We'll see if, maybe they were inspired. I know they seem to prefer the Ryan, and from what it looks like, we might even have a Ryan mirror, which is pretty exciting.
Some good, honest Overwatch with the Ryan mirror. And yeah, you mentioned LH Cloudy today playing Ryan in OWCS, and that was just a treat to watch. So if anyone hasn't seen that, I suggest to go back and watch their match from today to see that as we get ready. Yeah, Ryan Mirror, both teams obviously going to go with the May Sim as well, as those are heroes that go really well with the Ryan.
I mean, this is really like a vintage, almost like Overwatch 1, well, actually, not Overwatch 1 because I forgot about Double Shield, but looks like the fight has already engaged. We already have a pick, first one coming out from Kaiser with a trade onto M Star Master, but fights appears to be going Edgewood's way with picks coming out from Gordo. The fight almost 60% to their next ult, and that is a definitive win coming out from Edgewood College.
That was really quick too. They had team wiped Shawnee State before the point was even unlocked, and as you mentioned, Kaiser charging themselves up 60% to that ultimate. That is
This
a
is a hard one.
quick run to get up to that
Ooh,
sim wall.
all
So it's going to
inside
be
here.
up to Shawnee State coming back in with Happy on that Reinhardt to see how they can get back in on the point. Such a good example for such a good advantage right now for Edgewood College being able to be in on the objective. They're going to be hard to move off here as Vasquez trying to move around to the left-hand side, seeing if they can find a quick pick on that fully charged Sojourn. Throws in the railgun, isn't able to find anything, as now we have M-Star Master getting in under that immortality field. Now Happy drops the shatter, and they're able to get 3 and win that fight for Shawnee State.
And it looked like Edgewood was really comfortable at on point. Basilisk was doing damage but wasn't getting picks, and it seemed like they kind of got ahead of themselves. I think Gordo slightly overcommitted on that, maybe didn't know that Happy actually had Shatter, but a big win coming up from Shawnee State, especially because they'd want the mid-range. However, I was going to say, I mean, Edgewood College is already re-engaging, and Melee has already gone down, maybe a little bit of miscommunication there. So this is just going to be another reset from Edgewood College. Unfortunately, M-Star also goes down. But this is going to be the first fight that we're kind of going into the first round of ults. So we're going to have to see which Blizzard is going to get more value, or whether or not M-Star is even going to be able to get their Blizzard before this next fight.
Yeah, still about 20% left to go for M-Star Master as Edgewood College starts creeping forward once again. Gordo has that shatter online, goes around to the left-hand side, is able to knock down multiple members of Shawnee State. Nice counter pin coming out from the Fox on the brig to make sure that Gordo couldn't get any more extra value on that Shatter, and now Basilisk and Kaiser are able to trade. Kaiser charged up on that Symmetra, once again getting a ton of value on this hero going into the back of the point, isn't able to find anybody else as Shawnee State is getting the picks and they're able to hold on to this fight and should only need one more to take the first round.
That was a brave shatter coming out from Gordo. I didn't necessarily see a speed amp or a beat coming out, which would have been really helpful. It looked like he was trying to catch them by surprise. That was a good Maywall coming out from Shawnee State, forcing the rotation. But unfortunately, when you go to the other door, I mean, everyone knows you're going to be over there. Ends up not getting a whole lot of the last fight territory. 88% for Shawnee State, and Edgewood College is going to need, I mean, something magical to happen in order to win this round.
You're gonna have to be careful right now. Basilisk has online, throwing it out there. Kaiser's able to get one again. This team will go as far as Kaiser takes them right now. Apparently, as the Fox is going to go down, Simwall out onto the point. Melly's able to finish off Basilisk, and that is good news for Edgewood College getting forward here. Gordo point overtime has, but Edgewood College is going to get the flip and stay alive in this round.
The Kaiser versus Basilisk sort of, it's not quite a battle, but this is really where one of the DPS where they're not mirroring. And Kaiser has been doing so much work, getting so much value on the Symmetra, really doing a great job for Edgewood. Gordo has a shatter again, so we're going to have some Ryan mind games. However, the thing that I'm really looking for is this Juno orbital beam. Such a powerful ult, particularly. We're going to have to see how Edgewood College is going to be able to deal with it.
Yeah, they got to be careful with that orbital ray coming out from dot bets. As you said, it is just such a powerful ultimate at the moment. And now we have Happy going down with the Earth Shatter, is able to knock down almost Edgewood College, and now getting into the backline with a pin is Gordo able to get rid of dot bets. So an uphill climb for Edgewood College. They're still in onto the point, but they are losing members and only down to 2 left on the objective. And now with Z-Smitty cleaning up everybody on that May, they're not even going to need the Blizzard in this fight, as the touch is going to come through for Edgewood College. But how long can they hold out right now? Melly is going to go down, and the Blizzard is coming out from M-Star, but they are not going to live to tell the tale of Z-Smitty is going to throw in one of their own, and now with Basilisk staying in on the backline with that Sojourn, able to just dump in extra shots. Overtime is going to burn down, and that is going to be Shawnee State taking the first map of the night, 100-94.
So it doesn't.
I mean, so that's going to be the first map going to Shawnee State. I will say, close round overall. However, it did feel like that was an easy last fight win coming out from Shawnee State. I think the big thing that I really saw from that was the difference between the Baptiste and the Juno. The Baptiste with the window is you need to kind of anticipate where the team's going to go. And in fact, there's just not really enough speed from that ult. And, because the healing that the orbital ray provides and the damage boost that it provides, I think is far less limiting than window. But looks like we're going to see Celestial Maddie come out on the Juno, so we're already seeing an adaptation. Maybe Melly stays on the Lucio, maybe not, although we're now switching back to the Baptiste. So this is going to be actually the same comps coming out from the as we had in the first map. We'll see if Edgewood's going to be able to pull out this round.
Edgewood's doing a good job. That's the second time in a row, obviously, with the Symmetra teleport advantage, able to get onto the point first, which is exactly where this composition wants to be. As Happy and Gordo come nose to nose, Maywall comes out, and M-Star Master is dispatched quickly as Happy is able to find the final blow. And that means that the Immortality Field has to come out from Celestia Maddie to try and keep Edgewood College up, and it isn't going to work out for them this time around. And the first cap will be going to Shawnee State.
Yeah, and despite the damage coming out from Kaiser, Shawnee State able to just be able to push into Edgewood, get the picks that they needed. I mean, unfortunately, that's going to be a first fight round loss for Edgewood College, but they're going to be looking for maybe an early window to be able to counter the orbital beam. Not entirely sure, but with the way that Happy's building the shatters, the first thing they're going to be looking for is probably going to be a Happy shatter.
And Gordo's no slouch on that Reinhardt either, which shows how quickly Happy is getting to that Reinhardt ultimate. Pin coming in. Happy does have that shatter online now if they want to use it. Chop Gordo, and just like that, Shawnee State is going to take another quick fight win. So, they can only build up the cap percentage so fast, but they are ending these fights in a very quick fashion.
I mean, Edgewood still hasn't dropped an ult, which that is going to be what my doorbell sounds like. So lovely. Apologies for that. Um, but Edgewood, they're going to have that window coming up. They almost have the blizzard coming out. So we're going to see counter blizzards as well as orbital beams. Meanwhile, Happy's already down. Huge pick coming out from Edgewood College. But Shawnee State is just going to run into Edgewood College with the damage coming out from the orbital beam. They don't even need the rally.
Wait, which
And they don't even need the mail. That is a confident win coming out from Shawnee State.
A cheap fight win, and that window that came out from Celestia Maddie was basically a big neon sign saying, "Happy, please shatter here." And that was quickly done by Shawnee, not spending a ton of ultimates, and now Basilisk already is popping that overclock as we got the Blizzard coming out as well. So ultimates being spent as Shawnee State knows they can win it all right here. Rally is on as well from the Fox, and they're able to hit a whip shot onto M-Star Master, but Gordo's able to find two with the pin, the double kill from the Reinhardt. Can Gordo turn this one around here, getting forward and just swinging on the point once again. Immortality Field coming out to try and keep that Reinhardt out, and Gordo looking clean on the Rhine.
That is a hero play coming out from Gordo. The rallying Brig, oh my, and the Rhine as well. That's a three-piece coming out from the Rhine Savant. Absolutely incredible play. And Edgewood has bought themselves some time, but they're going to need to hold the clock basically the rest of the time, which is going to be difficult. So we're going to see how they're going to be able to manage to deal with this. But looks like Shawnee State is looking to rotate over to white room for the next fight.
Yeah, both teams seeming to prioritize coming in from the White Room for these fights, as we are coming up to another engagement here. M-Star Master throwing out the ball, splitting off a couple members of Shawnee State. Happy wasn't able to get back to their team right away, getting very low, but the healing is there. The Fox is able to take down Kaiser, and now Gordo comes in with the Shadow, able to hit multiple members of M-Star, finishes it off. Happy, Immortality Field out once again. Dotbeds is able to finish off Celestia Maddie. And at the end of the day, the Shatter came out and it looked decent from Gordo, but Shawnee State was able to persevere through, and they are going to take Lijiang Tower if they can deal with these staggers.
Looks like they... Well, actually, I mean, Gordo comes flying in through the teleporter. Looks like Edgewood College is back in this fight, trying to contest, trying to save this round, but unfortunately it seems that they're going to go down one by one. Shawnee State just has the ults to be able to stabilize, and so this first round is going to go to Shawnee State in what was a back and forth game, or map, rather.
Definitely feels like it was one of those maps where the score line is going to read 2-0, but it was a lot closer than the scoreline might entail. And some good looks coming out from Edgewood College as well. I mean, obviously we just talked about Gordo looking strong in that Reinhardt. Honestly, you can see Happy here with the play of the game. Both Reinhardts were getting a ton of value out of that tank hero. But it's going to be interesting now to see what these tanks are going to switch to. I can't imagine we're going to see a Rhine mirror throughout all these maps. It feels like it is something you can see on Control, but I feel like as we head down the road, it's not going to be Rhine v Rhine the whole time.
Only hope, to be honest, because I think Orion v Ryan would just be some of the most honest Overwatch I've ever seen. You know, map in, map out. That would be amazing. Probably not. The one thing, again, I'm curious is that whether or not they're going to stay on the Lucio map, just because, I mean, as much as the meta is in flux right now, it is absolutely a Juno meta. And you can play Juno with Brig, you can play Juno with Ana. I've seen Juno with Kiriko, but you usually don't see Juno being played with Lucio. And so is there going to be backline flexibility for Edgewood coming out, just because we've seen Gordo at least switch to some other tanks? We've seen the DPS switch to other tanks. Kaiser looked great on the Symmetra. Are we going to see Kaiser look great on the other, other picks? I mean, a lot to look forward to. And, you know, Control is always the chaos map. There's always where the goofiest strategies are going to come out. And so it was a lot of fun. It was very back and forth. And Edgewood looked comfortable, and I think that's really important, right? They were getting a lot of the engages that they wanted. They looked like they were decisive as a team. So looking forward to more of that in the forthcoming maps.
Yeah, I think that's something that we noticed last week as well, after week one, is that you can really see their macros improving, and you can see that this team is
Yeah.
rotating a lot tighter. Outside of that one fight on Night Market where they seemed a little bit disconnected, and Melly and then and then M-Star both went down a little bit early. Other than that fight, they seem pretty solid in their rotation, staying together, keeping their shape. And I think that's something we can expect to see continue as we go on to Midtown's going to be our next map. So yeah, I don't see that Reinhardt happening on Midtown.
I mean, that would be one of the decisions of all time, if I'm being entirely honest. But coming out from Shawnee, we're gonna see is gonna be another map that's gonna be defined. It's really tough to do that on this map. I would expect an Orisa to come out personally. I know Horse has been really favored, a really good neutral pick. I know teams that really specialize in Junker Queen out the Queen, but the real question is, for me at least, he played for Edgewood, but are they going to pick Sojourn? I've been seeing a lot of Genji Cass, which is just strange, but fascinating. Do we have Genji specialist or a Cass specialist, but especially with Juno, those heroes work really just brawling in little tiny spaces. So I guess we'll see when we come out to Midtown, but I'm really curious to see what Edgewood brings out.
Yeah, I think that Kaiser can definitely play depending on which way they want to go with the hit scan in their pocket. Historically, so far in these first couple weeks, we have seen M-Star Masters stick a lot with that Mei. So a
Mhm.
couple other heroes they've shown to play. Obviously, we saw the Symmetra, but also M-Star will go over to a couple other heroes. So I mean, Genji Cassidy would be normal if it was 2017, but instead it is the year of our Lord
Right.
2024.
I
So it is
know.
a little bit odd. You're right, but I think there is enough flexibility, and like Kaiser looked really good last week on the hit scan heroes when they did play them. So
Mhm.
that is something to keep an eye on. Like I kind of said it in our first map there on Lijiang Tower. This team will go as far as Amstar and Kaiser takes them. Like that. eh, that
Yeah.
is the strongest out of the 3 roles, I think, right now for Edgewood. So lean on those deep damage dealers.
Yeah, and I think that if I'm not mistaken, last season MStar was sense that they would like heroes,
Mm.
DPS heroes that actually are better at controlling space, because I
Yeah.
think that's a role at least they were very good at last season. And so I think Gordo brings sort of like technical ability to the heroes that but MStar I think is really the one who's making a lot of the calls and making a lot of the decisions. And the May helps facilitate that. The Symmetra ends up facilitating that. And Kaiser was really popping off on that Symmetra. It's pretty, I wouldn't say rare to, but it did seem like that was the majority of where their picks were coming from, at least for the first map. And so I'm really looking forward to see what Kaiser has to bring on the hit scan. But that role might be the one that's most in flux. So we'll have to see what their answer to what the current meta is, see what they're going to bring out, and whether or not they're going to be any adaptations against Shawnee.
That's a really good point to you about M-Star playing tank last year and now playing a lot of the Mei. Because Mei is basically like a diet tank, like an off tank,
Right.
essentially. Like so there's definitely some synergy there. Something I'm really excited to see in this map as we head into Midtown will be how Edgewood wants to take advantage of the longer sight lines you get in this map. Obviously, due to the close quarters nature of control, you don't see that as much. It looks like we will have on the Ash, and that's definitely something to keep an eye on. Extremely proficient on that hero.
Yeah, and this is a strange comp, but one of the things I can see for this is that, if they're playing the
Okay.
same, don't know they're going into the Rhine, but the kite a little bit easier, because I think your game plan Kaiser to get picks, right? To do a lot of damage and to put a lot of pressure onto the enemy team. And, if Gordo's aggressive as a tank, so maybe we'll see Gordo play a little bit more pass. M-Star and Gordo are able to create space kite slowly and kite in a way that they're able to control the tempo. We might be able to see Kaiser really pop off here.
Yeah, and it's like you said, they didn't necessarily know that they'd be playing into the Reinhardt off the hop. I do like Sigma on Midtown. A very good pick for this map specifically. So Millie's gonna take a fire strike to the face here to start this off. Wall comes out from M-Star. Wall's out from both maids right now. And now the healing boost coming out from Melly to try their feet. And so far, so good at least. Although Celestia Maddie getting low, has to back up, still staying in this train, which is a interesting spot for the supports for Edgewood to be right now. But you can't argue with the results. It has worked for them so far, and a lot of damage coming in onto Happy. Possible, and they do get the Suzu from the Fox, which makes honestly perfect sense as the rotation is coming through by the fire truck here, and Happy is building these shatters in the blink of an eye.
Oh man! I mean, that is an insane shatter. You know, I was a little bit worried. I mean, we saw Edgewood kind of rotating around. They had that top left space. You know, they were getting a lot of space, but the question was, were they putting a lot of? And it didn't seem like enough. And Happy able to do a lot of. I mean, you look at these comps, and you're not thinking that the Ryan is really going to be able to feast, but. I mean, they got that shatter quick, and they put the hammer down. That is one of the most hammer downs I've ever seen in my life, the hammerest of downs. But this is a part of the map that Edgewood are really comp. Again, creating space for Kaiser, Celestial Maddie able to take those the sight lines as well. Already you have a window coming out. It's going to be matched by an orbital ray. You have a blizzard coming out. Everyone is pressing Q at the moment. Celestial Maddie caught out. Down, but it's going to be too late. M-Star is able to find a pick onto Kiri. However, that's going to be 2 picks going down in favor of Shawnee State, while Edgewood looks to try to equalize.
Right now, just have to back up a little bit for Edgewood College. They do have online. They've only spent that window so far. Have the advantage in the alt economy. M-Star Master getting forward, has that blizzard in their back pocket, not wanting to use it quite back, obviously wants some of the follow-up coming through. And then Flux Gordo Shawnee State, and that is going to necessitate the other side, but it's going to be chilly inside that Kariko alt as the blizzard is out behind the point as well. M-Star is able to find one on the back of that Kaiser on the flank, seeing if they can with the Ash, but now M-Star Master getting two, cleaning up back here. And this fight is just a protracted engagement right now. Neither team losing enough members to disengage, and now it looks like Z-Smitty's in a lot of trouble, and that May just not able to escape.
What a scrappy fight. I mean, really great job to stabilize there. The Bob came out a little bit early. Not sure how much value the Gravitic Flux got, but Gordo got to switch over to the Rhine. We know Gordo loves to play the Rhine, so already this is going to be a more comfortable. Kaiser switched over to that Cass. Cass, I think, stronger than Sojourn, and looks like Shawnee's going to be dropping 2 ults to start the fight.
Yeah, and this could be dangerous. We know what Happy can do with those early. Smitty's able to find one already. Give license for Shawnee State to try and push forward as well. And with that, Gordo is trying to just stay alive right now as Happy is playing super aggressive, was able to throw down the shatter into that fight. Unlike seeing that Rhine mirror.
I mean, the orbital ray coming, it's just so powerful right now. I'm not sure Basilisk got any direct picks from their ult, but the orbital just makes it so difficult. Kaiser kind of found a no man's land. I have no idea what they were doing up there, maybe a little bit split from their team. However, like you said, we have 4 ults coming out from Edgewood College with Melly's ult well on the way.
Yeah, almost 5 online with the window once again, and that is of a blizzard as well, as we got 2 on the floor. Fox is able to find the first pick here on to Gordo. Kaiser's worked themselves up to that Deadeye, but they are going to go down to a fire strike from Happy, and this is going to be Shawnee State continuing forward here on their side.
Position of security.
Really and out of the range of the window, so wasn't able to get the heals coming out from Celestial Maddie. However, Edgewood still have 3 ults to be able to rely on. Great zoning ults and great engage ults. We'll see if they'll be able to get any value.
And they are going to drop the sound barrier in off trying to engage on the back of the Lucio ultimate. Speed Ring comes out from Shawnee State, and they are going to use that ability just to disengage very quickly. So good for Edgewood College not using more than that sound barrier once that disengage came through.
Well, they use a sound barrier, but Shawnee State are going to have the orbital ray, and unfortunately, I mean, that's probably the strongest ult in the game right now. We're going to have to see how Edgewood is going to play this. It would maybe they can bait it out. What could happen is that they put down this ult because right now Gordo's angling for a Deadeye, which he's going to pop to start the fight.
Yeah, Kaiser just trying to keep members of Shawnee State off that orbital ray that comes out, and they are able to get the kill on the Happy. Trade coming through. Kaiser is going to pay for their sins, and Basilisk is going to throw down the overclock into the back line. Coming through for Shawnee State. Not too much further to go. A couple, and now with Melly on that Lucio, they are going to be able to re-engage here one more time before this payload gets in, and that's a big pick onto the Sojourn. A lot of damage done, and even though Shawnee State technically wins that fight, they left over to get the payload in.
Well, and with Kaiser positioned the way they were, Basilisk was able to ult and just basically rotate onto Edgewood's first map as well. Edgewood maybe not looking as they should, however, they're still able to equalize, and they also are going to have the Blizzard coming up. That is a huge quick engage coming in from Shawnee State, though, and it looks like we're going to get matching Blizzards.
Oh, Smitty almost went down. And so is Dot Betts at about 20 health, is able to stay alive and onto the point, and that is going to freeze up whatever remains for Edgewood College, just sitting in onto the point. And now it's going to be tough for anybody to get back touch, as the payload's only got a couple meters left to go here to try and slow the ingress of Edgewood College down, and they are just trying to burn as much time as they can off the clock now, as the cleanup is coming through for Shawnee State, and they will finish Midtown with 28 seconds left on the clock.
I mean, that is so close to overtime hold. Really, I mean, one of the things that really helped Shawnee State right there was just access to Suzu. I mean, during that May ult, it just gave them the extra couple seconds to finish doing the damage that they had done and to be able to push in. But, I mean, Edgewood College really down there. Forced even like a hero switch, Basilisk switching off of the Sojourn onto the Cass. So, I mean, a good look. And especially, you know, Edgewood to see the Rhine again for this attack, which I for them, I think, you know, obviously Gordo is very good at that. But we're still not seeing the Juno come out from Edgewood, and I just don't think that window at the moment is as impactful as Orbital Ray.
Okay, move into.
You can
first
see that interaction
point.
as well between the window and the orbital ray as well. Like,
Oh god.
you know, Celestia and Maddie would throw down
Yeah.
the window, and then the rotation would come through, and then the orbital ray,
No.
and all of a sudden you can't shoot your opponents through the window, and they're barreling down on you with that Juno ult. So it can be really moves, obviously, and the window does not. So it's a little bit more flexible in that sense.
Right. And you know, we're gonna see them come out on the Sigma. Is going to be on the Cass. I'm gonna switch once they see the Rhine, or if the Sigma to run on point A. Wouldn't really surprise me if either is true, to be honest, just because, I mean, like you said, I also like the Sigma on this map. I think it's good in order to be able to, again, slow down the enemy comp. Sigma has so many mitigations. Rotate far left side in order this side where there's really no long sightlines, so it's curious for the Sigma, because it looks like Happy's just going to throw the hammer down.
There's a lot of poke coming out right now from Shawnee State, and it's on Edgewood right now not to get these rotations. Kaiser's able to find a pick onto the getting that Kariko healing, that Suzu both out of the fight momentarily, and that is a numbers advantage now for Edgewood College, trying to push forward, seeing if they can get back down Happy, who's 99% to an Earthshatter, but they also get got as they go down, and now Gordo's just cleaning up into the backline. This is going to be a quick first cap once again.
I mean, that's a really interesting. It seemed like
at this
that
point.
would have been a you were running a Reinhardt, but they did it with the Sig. I mean, if it works, it works. You know what I mean? But Kaiser really showing up there on the cast, making that work. Meanwhile, I mean, the Shatter's already come out. And the thing is, I think Shawnee State want to be able to do a close hold. Get it at the moment. I don't know if Edgewood have any mitigation tools. Shatter, especially Suzu no longer, you can't shoot Suzu Shatter anymore. So even if they ran the Kiriko, it wouldn't make a difference. But without going into the mirror, I mean, Shawnee State's might get a free fight. He's able to put their hammer down exactly where they.
Yeah, unless there's a well-timed barrier from Gordo, I mean, that is something obviously a Reinhardt player is going to watch out for and make sure that's not available when they throw down the ultimate. But right now we have a couple from Z Smitty and M-Star. Advantage this time around is going to Shawnee State, picking up multiple. He was able to finish off happy once again. So hopefully Edgewood College will be able to get back together and push forward quickly before the tank gets back in the fight.
Undersize.
Support ults, actually both teams have board support ults coming out. Kaiser does Deadeye. Gonna be curious how they end up using it. Are they gonna zone? Are they gonna use it to buy space so they can get to a more favorable space? But it looks like Shawnee State are gonna be the ones to initiate.
Yeah, pushing forward once again with the aid of that Katsune rush from the Fox. Got a bit of extra damage, but Celestia Maddie goes to the hammer of Happy. And that is going to be the Eagles backing up now, trying to get out as they've lost both supports here. And Shawnee State know it, and they're not afraid to finally disengage. And this will give Edgewood reassess their situation.
You know, Edgewood didn't commit any ults. They have 4 ults. Probably not going to get their 5th ult on this fight. Shawnee State still have the Orbital Ray. They also have that Shatter. We're going to see how Happy's going to use that this fight.
Yeah, you can see Happy throwing down the Shadow. Kaiser right now trying to use a off the Orbital Ray whenever it comes out. That seems to be an interaction that's repeating itself. Now Gordo throws down the Flux, and they're able to get 2. A big Flux coming out from the Sigma there. Now trying as hard as they can to finish up Happy and do so. So this is going to be a fight win here for Edgewood College. I had to spend multiple ultimates to get it done, but that's going to get the cart moving in the right direction for them.
I mean, that's going to be a rare swing and a miss coming out to get Kaiser, but unfortunately had lost. That's going to be also both support ults. Shawnee State currently going into this next fight with no ults. However, coming out with an interesting high ground rotation that M-Star just shuts down with their.
And yeah, right now Eagles just able to get the cart underneath the underpass and basically negating the strength of that high ground, even though Shawnee State was trying to take it here. Now Kaiser's going to find a 2-piece on that Cassidy. That's getting forward and then go Cassidy. Kaiser, they're just popping. And now Edgewood College is on to the last point with 3:20 left to go.
I mean, it's a huge play coming out from Kaiser, and something I want to comment on about Edgewood College is that one of the things in week 1 when I commentated, they were really messy kind of in the mid-fight. We're seeing a college coming out who's able to take fights where they're necessarily not the ones engaging, but the ones being engaged on, and they're doing really well. Even that, they're just disrupting the tempo of Shawnee State, who were looking to take a forward hold. They just dropped the Blizzard. And Edgewood College is looking really comfortable on this attack.
Move too coming fast out from this. Holy crap.
M-Star's May is just so crisp. Finding those icicles, the walls, the blizzards, it's all for them right now. And this is a huge push coming to go that you can see that golden to send this to extra innings. And this time around the fight is going to be started by a blizzard from Z Smitty, and that is going to claim the life of Kaiser almost immediately. So Shawnee spending that May ultimate and stabilizing on the defense.
Yeah, stabilization, just finding Kaiser a little bit out of position. Maybe Kaiser was really hoping that they would be able to pop Deadeye, command some space, allow Edgewood to maybe, you know, the Sig ult, but Shawnee State, although they did have to drop their Blizzard, but Edgewood is gonna have that Gravitic Flux High Noon combination, which, I mean, I know it's kind of a meme ult combination, but it is for real, and it looks like this.
They're pulling it out. They're pulling it this time. down on the Sky Noon, and they're able to get one, but the Fox and Happy are able to get 2 picks in this fight, and now the follow-up is coming through for Shawnee State. So a good start that you mentioned, Knuckles, but unfortunately that was kind of the end of your Edgewood College.
Yeah, I mean, it honestly looked like they,
And
Shawnee had
Hurricane.
really pushed up, really close to where Edgewood were going to hold. I don't think that Edgewood were patient enough to get enough
Happy
cooldowns
Shawnee.
out. I believe I've never heard that before. I mean, I feel job or something. I mean, it's right there. But Edgewood finally switched back to the Reinhardt, manages to get the better of Happy, who dropped the Shatter. Great play coming out from Gordo. However, they managed to coming out from Vasquez on the high ground, dropping from manages to just hit the map. Melly trying to outduel, I believe that was the Juno, but this is Shawnee State might be taking this round, although the Blizzarders drop from M-Star might be too little too late. Seemed like Shawnee were able to chaos into Edgewood's push despite its promise.
Yeah, maybe M-Star Master wants that one back, as they do have time to
hang on this
re-engage
wall and
one
try
more
to
time here.
circle around this
They
wall a
do
bit.
have a window online to see if they can maybe catch somebody out here with that extra damage coming up from the Battle.
Natty cam on.
Right, the Battle, maybe they might take high ground, maybe, for Celestial Maddie to be able to get the ult out without. Looks like they might drop it a little bit early to begin the fight. However, if you can see, I mean, Basca's already on a flank, and they already managed to pick off Kaiser. Once again, I mean, it seems like Edgewood is prioritizing a different angle. And that being said, I mean, Happy now is just going and manages to get Melly. And this is just a total brawl that's going to be coming out Shawnee State's favor.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like once Kaiser went down there early on in the fight, that made it just a hill too steep to climb for Edgewood College. So that is going to be another map here to Shawnee State. They are going to take a 2-0 lead in the series, which means we will be heading to match point here, as this is a first to 3.
Yeah, and I mean, truthfully, I mean, the first 2 points from Edgewood were fantastic. Third point's the hardest to take, and I think that Shawnee did a really good job of, again, putting Vasquez on that off angle, and Edgewood, that's the toughest angle for Edgewood to be able to clear out, and so they were able to get so much value just kind of constantly doing damage. I even think the Fox went over there at some point to do some damage, and now, admittedly, look, that was last fight. I'm not really going to ding Edgewood College because they're just trying to get to point, right? But this happened on like 2 or 3 fights. Like I said on the first map as well, where, I think that Shawnee was having a little bit of doing a better job just making sure they were controlling angles and flanks. So, and Edge was getting caught off guard left and right. So we'll have to see if the third map. I mean, again, good look coming out from Edgewood. I thought the Sigma really worked out. And the support duo as well. I was worried about it, worried about the no Juno, but they're making a lot of progress. I mean, Juno is the hard meta right now. Way that Shawnee State's being pushed, I think it's
Yeah, and there's still time to come back. Obviously, it is a first 3, so there can be a reverse sweep in the cards.
right.
That's what it would have to be now if Edgewood College want to claw the. We do have a third map coming up. Like, if you got to pick the map, Knuckles, where would you like to see them go for this third map?
Um, but the way that they like to play, I'm gonna
Uh,
say
uh,
Horizon Lunar Colony.
okay, no, come on, man, come
Can
on,
you imagine?
it can't be. I did want to say, unfortunately, it is push, so no HLC. That would be. I know there's like some people out there that still say like, "Oh, I missed 2 CP." I'm not one of those people. I'll just say that.
Online. I go on Reddit and I tell them they're wrong. Told they're wrong because that is a heinous opinion. This
It,
is rose tinted glasses. Absolutely not. Go back to Overwatch League Season 1. Watch the first point holds on Temple.
listen, if you ever need backup for that, enough people around to just help you out. But if you do need backup, you just let me know. I can definitely help you out. Like I am not one of those 2 CP enjoyers. I'm glad they're gone. So we are waiting to see the push map coming out. Street, that map has been banned because we're going off kind of a pick ban system right now. So it looks like
Hmm.
Runasapi will be where we're going. So Knuckles, thoughts on Runasapi?
I mean, to be honest, it seems to be where I legitimately, since that map has come out, I have not seen another pro team pick any other map. So definitely seems to be the general preference. I will say for Edgewood, I think this is going to work a little bit better for them. They're going to be able to control space better with the Rhino. The Sig, actually, to be honest, I think the Rhino would be a little bit better than the Sig now. You're just able to hide as a team so much better than you could maybe on other maps. And so with a Rhine, you can contest point without having to have your team out there. Now, that being said, I also know that Ashe is a really big pick here. So, at the same time, are we maybe going to finally see Horse? I mean, it looks like both these teams are fine. Honestly, really not what I was expecting. You were joking about it when we started this game, but if we end up seeing that, then that could be a little prophetic coming out from you.
Listen, predictions, whether it's predicting which team is going to win or what heroes are going to be played, I am like very consistently wrong at these sort of things. So maybe we will see a Rhine mirror again. Like just off face value, Gordo showing the Maga, that's something we on push maps. So I would imagine at least Gordo is going to be playing that Maga.
Thank you.
Stand by.
Yeah, and as much as I think I think Ryan's a great pick for Gordo. Good, don't get me wrong, but I mean, Gordo's an aggressive tank. He likes to get in there, and I think that Maga has just incredible survivability, incredible ability to do damage. By the way, he's 2 golden guns. They look sick. You got 2 chain guns made out of gold. That's a good look anywhere you go. Not to mention Cowboy Bebop skin. Looks fantastic. Always get, the aesthetic points, not always recognized, but always important. Now, we're going to see a support change coming out from them. It's going to be the Brig Ana, which is really fascinating. I know they're going to be doing a lot to try and keep Gordo up. But the question is, how much value are they going to get off the nades, or are they going to be used purely defensively to keep the Maga up?
At least to start us off here, it was used defensively to make sure that Gordo was hale and hearty going into this fight. Already back into critical territory, though has to back off a little bit here. Melly's job on that Brig is just trying to keep people off the Ana, but these teams just going back and forth, and so far the neutral fights have seemed to be pretty even. Ultimates start coming out.
One of the issues is that, they're going to have to burn down Ryan's shield for Gordo to get a whole lot of value. It looks like the first picks are going to be coming out. Is that a 4-piece from the Fox? Oh my god, that is a team wipe coming out from Shawnee State's Curious. Not how I would have predicted this fight went. The other thing I want to point out as well, though, is that the Juno had an assist on every single one of those picks, except for the last one, and the Juno has been a big part of Shawnee State, always getting giant win coming out from Shawnee State, coming out from the Kiriko, and it looks like Edgewood's going to start with an anti-nade onto the front line.
Yeah, getting a little bit more value maybe if they go with the offensive nades this time around. Both nades throwing down the wall. Bray is already out. Seasmity has to go in because they almost went down once again. Unfortunately, Edgewood College not able to finish off that pick, and now we got the shatter coming up from Happy, but it's going to be a harbinger of doom as multiple members fall in that Earth Shatter. Which is huge, and also a Kitsune Rush. That's 3 ultimates down the drain, and now Edgewood College is in control, and that's going to be sure.
That is a huge fight win. Is going to end up getting the cage fight. Really going to be looking out to see whether or not the Blizzard's going to be able to deal with that. But one thing I do want to quickly point out is that we've been talking a lot about Juno. Brig is very strong right now. Brig's ult is very strong right now. It goes in, Suzu comes out, cage looks like they're going to be real chilly in this cage.
Lasting as long as they can, basically, probably longer than you would think. Inside that Blizzard, they do go down. The bot is still being pushed by Edgewood College. Just about 6 meters left to go before they is going to be the overclock coming out from Basilisk. and almost instantly Kaiser's able to get rid of them as they go down as well. So those DPS trading for each other, and Celestia Maddie hitting some shots on that Ana is able to finish up Dot too high in the sky, not in a end of the day, Shawnee State is going to take this fight wins, but some nice plays coming out from the Eagles, especially Celestia Maddie in that fight.
DPS duel Maddie doing their best to try and save that fight and lost a few too many players. Honestly, I mean, a really good kind of fight loss. I know we don't often say that, but all things considered, Shawnee State really did have to commit. They ended up having the overclock in the end, and they're able to actually hold here in a space. They have the angles, they have the wide corner, and Shawnee engage.
And that's going to be a good start here as Happy goes down, getting massive value, getting the Rhine out of the fight early, and now Z Smitty's in for a lot of pain. They come out of the ice block and are met by multiple members of the get out once again. Edgewood College does have control of the bot, but Shawnee State is going to be able to re-engage here fairly soon.
Future point.
And now the horse has come out from Shawnee State. This is going to be a bit of an issue. They're not going to be able to get because, you know, as we know, the gold may ult, but of course, as I say that, the Fox throws down their ult and immediately melee gets deleted, and despite the nano boost coming out, that's going to be a out from Shawnee State.
Happy in that fight as well. Blizzard with the spear spin, so that is an ultimate down the tubes for Edgewood College in that last fight. They still have Kaiser with the Deadeye, and Melly will be working themselves up to that rally order. So a couple ultimates ready to go for Edgewood College in this next fight. Shawnee State once again so lethal on that Kiriko is able to get rid of M-Star Master, and now that is going to be Shawnee State sprinting forward with the aid of that Juno speed ring. Right now Edgewood College just trying as hard to engage just a little bit, but still not wanting to give up too much space.
I mean, the Fox, more like the Dink. I mean, they have been doing so much flank high noon coming out from Kaiser. No bubble from Gordo, which means they end up getting pressured out. Still managed to find the pick onto the Juno with the Sojourn popping ult, but gets picked out from Kaiser. However, Happy still on the front. Yuzu coming out from the Fox, keeping their front line alive, and unfortunately this is going to be an impenetrable wall that Edgewood is not able to overcome.
Listen, right now the Fox has kind of taken over, not just with the kills, but getting so much value out of those Sues. Basically saving Happy's life there as Kaiser was fanning the Happy was able to stay up thanks to that invulnerability coming out from the Kiriko. Now the Maywall is coming out once again as most of these fights start, and there is a Terra Surge coming up to claim the life of Gordo, and now the ultimates are being chucked in by Shawnee State, able to find. They are getting close to the end of the road here, not too far to go, and Edgewood College is only going to get one more bite at the apple if they want to get back in this.
They still have the nano boost. It's going to go out onto the Zarya, who almost has the Graviton Surge, but the Kiri ult's going to come out. Kaiser's in the backline looking for picks, might be able to find one onto this Juno, but goes down to Basilisk, and this is looking like a fight win coming out from Shawnee State. Probably going to be a map win, all heralded by Happy's swinging of the baton, managing to pick out Gordo last round, and that is going to be a 3-0 coming out.
Yeah, they're able to take the match. A good fight put up first half of that map, and then it kind of got away from them. We're going to see this play from the Fox as well. This is an absolutely massive play coming out from the Kiriko. Exactly what you need to do if you're going to flank with a support. Just finding these shots, and honestly, not even headshots for the most part. Just finding that last hit and getting those final blows. So for this match, that's going to be a 3-0 for Shawnee State. And looking really good all the way down. I mean, Happy was so strong in the Reinhardt slash Orisa later on. Some positives to take away if you're the Edgewood College Eagles as well. I mean, I've said it before. This line is really strong. I think if there's something to hope for leading up into the next matches, I think there is probably going to want to be a little bit more just versatility in some of the.
Right. Melee picking up the brick. They're replacing Lucio right now. I mean, Social Money. I mean, we're able to see they are technically very good on their Ana, on the BAP. Just gonna see whether or not the Juno is gonna be something they're gonna be able to pick up. Gordo, we saw a couple different looks today, and they look comfortable on each one of the picks, and they were very different picks as well, which gives you the sense that they're going to be able to play different tanks, right? These aren't three tanks with similar skill sets; these are three very different tanks. Like you said, I think this really was. I mean, Edgewood looking strong, Kaiser looking strong. The one thing I'm worried about is that sometimes Kaiser a little bit out of position. Were they trying to make the hero play, or were they trying to make use of angles that weren't already secured? I mean, one of the things about that, the play of the game coming, like what I was talking about throughout this match, is going in straight, and then one of Shawnee's team just goes from the right angle. No one's looking at them, and so that's the one macro thing I'd want them to look out for. But again, we're seeing a lot of different looks. I mean, looking incredible than they did in the first week, and looking a lot up. And that was one of the thing I remember commenting on. They weren't really going together. Looking a lot better, looking a lot more comfortable, and as a result, we're able to see their proficiencies on these heroes.
Yeah, and that's what really is we're going to just see that continuing to grow and see more of these plays come out from these players as we see them getting more familiar with each other and their hero pools and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, some solid coaching is happening in the background as well as we are seeing these improvements. So I am definitely really excited. That is going to do it though for week 3. We will be back next week. Week 4 is going to be versus the College of Staten Island. So that's what's in store for us next. But for Knuckles, I'm Newbie. A big shout out to Ageless, Zensep, and Sharp, who are all working in the background to make us look good, which is quite a tough job sometimes. At least when I'm involved. But it's good to fine fellows. And with that, we are going to sign off for the night. So again, thanks for watching. We appreciate it, and we will see you next time.